I've had the same pair of bowling shoes since my freshman year of high school, and in my opinion, they don't look very good. Compared to other athletic shoes, if you can even call bowling shoes athletic shoes, they just look terrible. Every pair of shoes I had for track and field looked cool, but my bowling shoes always looked like something I would be wearing when I'm 70. So I thought, why not make my own? Out of Vans. Click, click, click. My initial plan to turn these into bowling shoes was to take slides that you can buy from Dexter, which is a bowling shoe company, and to put them on the bottom of the shoe. Now, because I wanted them to look very good, I didn't want this slide to be sticking out from the bottom of the shoe that much, so my plan was to hollow out the bottom of the shoe and then build it up enough so that the slide is just barely sticking out. So I went ahead and did that. I got this stuff, which is just a couple layers of EVA foam and a layer of HTH Velcro, which is the stuff with very tiny teeth on it. And I did that, and it fits in here pretty snugly. So I had that, and this sticks right to it. But as you can see, the bottom of that pad still sticks out a lot. So I don't really like how it looks. Not to mention, I went ahead and tried it, but I didn't get a video of it because I'm impatient. I went ahead and tried to slide on it, act like I'm bowling, and this slide is just, it's not very slidey. Normally, when I bowl, I wear this thing, which goes on the end of the shoe, just like this. And this is what makes it slippery. But this material is very different than what this material is. So this material is a lot slicker than this. So I went ahead and bought a whole yard of plain white felt, which in my opinion is a lot more similar to the texture of this little footy thing that goes on the end of my bowling shoes. And I'm thinking if I just put this on the bottom of the shoe rather than this whole mess of whatever, then it should work better. This happens a lot to me where I end up doing something that is more complicated than any other of the simpler ideas. And the more complicated idea usually doesn't work out. And the simpler idea, which I should have done first in the first place, is usually the thing that works the best. So that's just my fault. So now I'm going to try to go ahead and stick some of this to the bottom of this shoe and see how that works. Right now, I'm just going to take a scrap piece of EVA foam that I have, and I'm going to cut out a piece to fit in here to fill up this space, because if I just glue a piece of felt over here, then this cavity, it's just, normally, since this rubber was here, when you go to step on it, that takes all the weight. But since I took it all out and you go to step on it, it feels like there's nothing under your foot, so it's really uncomfortable. Not to mention, if there wasn't anything here and you went to slide, all the pressure would be on this outside edge, so it would make the force of your foot, of your weight, a lot more, rather than evenly distributing it across this entire surface, which means you probably wouldn't slide as far. As you can tell, it's a little thick for the shoe, so I'm just going to take a Sharpie, mark where that edge is, and then I'm going to cut it in half that way. So that fits well. Now I can go ahead, glue that in there, and then once that's done, I'm gonna hit this with this Gorilla spray adhesive. I hope it works well. You never know. I've tried a lot of different things to glue stuff to this gum rubber, and not much works. I tried contact cement, I tried hot glue, I tried super glue. Hopefully this stuff works well. Honestly, you never know with this kind of stuff. Glues are weird. So I'm just going to use hot glue to glue this in place, because last time when I glued the pad with the Velcro in it, I used hot glue, and apparently that works really well on whatever type of rubber this is. I know it's not the same type of rubber as this, because when I used hot glue on this part, it did not stick at all. But I guess trial and error. Through trial and error, I just figured out that hot glue works really well on this and EVA foam together. Okay, now that that's in place, I gotta cut some felt and then glue it to the bottom of this. And hopefully that will work. So I went ahead and covered my work area with cardboard, because I've learned my lesson using sprayable glues before, and no matter what you do, it gets everywhere. And I also flipped the mat over that's under this, because last time I sprayed glue up here, that was the side of the mat I used, and this side still has glue on it because I could not get it off. So just a tip, if you're using spray glues, make sure you cover up anything that you don't want to get sticky. So I've got my felt here. I'm just going to cut out a piece that's the size of this shoe, because I bought a full 2 yards, and I know I definitely don't need that much. By the way, if you're cutting felt, it will dull whatever scissors you're using very quickly. That's just how it works. So now I've got my piece of felt, and I got the bottom of my shoe. I think I'm gonna spray both sides, so I'm gonna spray the bottom of this and the felt. But if I do that, I'm gonna have to tape off the whole shoe except for the bottom, because like I said before, spray glue gets everywhere, and I don't want it to get on the rest of the shoe. I just want it to be on the bottom. Okay. Got my shoe all taped up. I used paper towel just to cover the rest of the shoe, because it'd be a waste of masking tape if I just went over the entire thing. And now I can spray just the inside of the sole, which is exactly what I wanted to. what I'm gonna do is once they're both dry, I'm gonna stick the shoe right onto this without trimming it, and then I'll trim the outside of the shoe out so that it'll match the perfect outline, or so that it'll match the outline perfectly. Moment of truth. That feels pretty solid. Now I can take a sharp knife and trim that out. Could definitely use some cleanup, but hey, it looks like it stuck. And, I mean, from a distance, you can't really tell at all that that's glued.
After this, I ended up going bowling, just to try them out. But I did make one small change to the bowling shoes, in that I added a leather sole to the back of them. Before, when I tried to slide with the entire bottom of the shoe covered in felt, I slipped a lot, so this really helped me to get an even braking when I was going to slide. It turned out to work pretty well, and you can barely tell that it's there. Since they performed better than I thought they would, I went ahead and made another pair out of some Vans that are a little more stylish. I'm actually really pleased with how these turned out. The leather adds a nice touch of color, and it works surprisingly well in adding a little grip to the heel of the shoe. All in all, I thought it would be a lot harder to turn these into bowling shoes. It just goes to show that you never know how hard or how easy something is until you try it.